Hello, today I would like to share with you some interesting, indisputable, biblical facts that I have found. They are as follows. 1. The Hebrew Old Testament clearly indicates that King David had a sexual relationship with Jonathan, the son of King Saul. 2. The Hebrew Old Testament clearly documents a sexual relationship between the prophet Daniel and a man named Ashpenaz, and indicates that God put Daniel into that relationship. 3. Much to the embarrassment of the Vatican, the Catholic Boswell has uncovered proof that, up until the 14th century, the Church was routinely performing wedding ceremonies for same-sex couples. 4. The social tides in Europe began to turn against homosexuality around the 13th century. Up until that time, there was no organized opposition to homosexuality, either from society or from the Church. 5. The religious tide did not turn against homosexuals until after the social tides. The change in society's attitude toward homosexuals was the only reason the Church stopped marrying them and began to persecute them. 6. Boswell found that same-sex marriage continued in certain parts of Eastern Europe until the 19th century, and that in a few villages, they still continue. 7. King James, who ordered the English translation of the Bible which bears his name, was a homosexual, a fact of which the translators were well aware. This fact displeased them, but since he was the king, they could not express their displeasure openly. Although on the surface, they were careful to be certain that their translation flattered and pleased the king, they also used it to attack him in a way he could not fight. 8. There is absolutely no condemnation of homosexuality in the Hebrew Old Testament. 9. There is absolutely no condemnation of homosexuality in the Greek New Testament. 10. All English translations, one of the earliest being 1611 AD, more than 200 years after the social tide turned against homosexuals, and more than 100 years after the Church stopped performing most homosexual weddings, have been deliberately mistranslated to make it appear that God condemned homosexuality. 11. The Hebrew and Greek scriptures never connected Sodom and Gomorrah with homosexuality. The idea that those cities were destroyed for homosexuality is a man-made notion, and is unsupported by scriptures. 12. The Greek New Testament, while not condemning homosexuality, does forbid people to attempt to alter their sexual orientation. These are all indisputable facts. If anybody tells you differently, they are ignorant, ill-informed people. It is easy enough to research this information. Remember, those that have hate in their heart are not Christians. God equals love.